in the end zone.
In fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
In fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
In fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
In fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
In fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
In fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
In fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into the broadcast booth here on Fans Only Sports Network. Some more high school hockey action right here on Fans Only as we take place at Adelard Arena here in Woonsocket, Rhode Island at Mount St. Charles Academy. The Mount St. Charles Mounties tonight hosting in a non-league game the Notre Dame Green Knights. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Chris Hetu, bringing you tonight's matchup, giving you each, really just taking you by the hand and just guiding you through each play every step of the way. And we're ready to go as warm-ups have officially concluded. Both sides will get an introduction, more likely than not, for the starting lineups. Mount St. Charles, though, of course, this was a team that last night managed to eclipse a record above 500 for the first time all year as they took down Smithfield last night by a final score of 5-2. They look to do something similar to that tonight against a tough Notre Dame Green Knights team that we expect will bring a lot of punch. Teams like the Notre Dame Knights always travel here to Rhode Island to play teams such as Mount St. Charles, such as LaSalle Academy, such as Bishop Hendricken, and of course, it'll be a very interesting game for the Mounties to really get some exercise against a team that may be a little bit better than them outside of the state of Rhode Island, but it's a competition that they'll be able to test out and see how they can fare and use this going on later into the season. Great reason why we have non-league games is to test these teams out to see what they're made of. So with that, the music will die down as we're preparing to announce the starting lineups for tonight's matchup.
Good evening and welcome to Adelard Arena for tonight's game between Notre Dame High School versus Mount St. Charles Academy. Tonight's starting lineup representing the team from Notre Dame.
And we'll take a
Forward
turn to the
number
right
2,
side as we
Sky
get to check out our starters here for the Notre Dame Knights.
Forward number 11, James Mascari. And forward number 13, Daniel Huzak. And defense number 5, Logan Bird. And defense number 91, Jack Allure. And tonight's starting goal for the Knights, number 33, Connor Crowley.
Connor Crowley, the starter in the net tonight for the Notre Dame Knights. And now we'll take a look over on the left-hand side at our home squad, the Mount St. Charles Mounties. Golden Lawrence had a goal in last night's game. Kyle Smolin, that's the number 5 of Bryce Baxter. Number 10, Antonio Labari, always a great centerpiece for this Mounties offense. Connor Souza, number 3, a great defenseman. Luke Smolin, number 23, another solid defensive unit. And starting in goal tonight, number 1, Dylan Hanna. So with that, we'll to direct our attention to the flag for the playing of our national anthem.
Would everyone please rise for the playing of our national anthem?
And with that, that means we are all set and ready to go here from Adelard Arena here in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. Before we get into tonight's matchup, let's get a word from tonight's game sponsors. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Joseph Lammy, 696 Reservoir Ave in Cranston, Rhode Island. For consultation and information, visit josephlammy.com. Joseph Lammy, attorney at law. And then by our elite recruits with access to 3,000 schools and 80,000 coaches across 38 NCAA sports for high school athletes looking to play at the next level. Be seen by visiting RR Elite Recruits. Go to www.rreliterecruits.com to sign up for more information. So both sides respectively talking things over before we get going in this one. And expect it to be a fast-moving game as both squads really want to bring it to the other one here in this non-league game. Show who's the better team. Of course, Mount St. Charles, a very decorated hockey school. You can see the banners all on the right-hand side of multiple national ice hockey championships back in the early 80s, throughout the decade of the 80s, and even going into the 90s. This is a team that has really, and a school that has really just been thriving at the sport that we all know and love as hockey. .15 minutes on the clock, and we'll hit center ice to get this one started. We are underway from Adelard Arena as this one's dumped in and immediately called for icing. So we'll head back to the Mounties side of the floor. Talk about icing the puck early on. As we get a face-off. And off the draw. It's taken away at the top of the zone and dumped in. Back towards center ice comes Lombari. Lombari through center, dumps it in. And on that end, it's shuffled around back to the near side. Up against the corner, it's dumped back in. Lawrence taking away for the Mounties. Trying to get a chance right up in front. Not a lot of separation as there's a lot of Knights in the vicinity. And the puck goes up against the far side. Dumping it back to the near side boards. And taking it away was Lawrence. As the Mounties dump it in again, they get some new skates out on the floor. Wrapped around behind the cage and met there by the Knights. Souza with the dump in one more time. And it comes all the way back to center before it's flipped back in. Now patrolling into the zone is the 15 of Azarone. Behind the net, Azarone trying to feed it in front into the slot position. And it'll come back, but it can't patrol past the zone. We'll actually get a stoppage of play as it looks like the puck just stopped its movement. And back in the action, back to the near side. And it's dumped around. Taken away by the 12 of Troiano. Troiano trying to feed it right in front of the net. And Hannah tried to dive on it, trying to backdoor it, and it's knocked away. The defense coming up strong. Hannah even getting a pad in there. And it's dumped away, and that'll be gloved up by Crowley to stop the play from occurring. So the Mounties opting to give the 29 of Connor Murray, who played in net last night. He only allowed 2 goals to his name in the matchup against Smithfield. They opt to rest him for the number 1, Dylan Hannah. Hannah's had himself a decent season so far. They've started him in the net several times, but mostly during tournament play and sometimes in regular season play. Hannah trying to develop his craft. And of course, it's dumped in. Of course, Hannah will likely become the starter next season, as this year, Connor Murray, he is a senior, Hannah the junior, looking to get more playing time to potentially become the starter next season, more likely than not. Lombari had the dump in, and that time it's met by the 45 of Tegan Grillo. And the feed to the 11 of Mascari. At center, right in front of the bench, Souza, and we'll get a whistle to stop play. So we'll face off back at neutral ice. Call was offsides. And we'll face off here. Off the win. Comes back in front of the visiting bench, and now taking it up ice is Del Moncio. On the near boards. It's taken away as Dumas feeds it on the dump into Slack. Hurd on the near side. He was checked into the boards, and now it's dumped in one more time by Tyler Carroll. Flipped back to center by Jake Oley. And now flipped over back towards center ice as the puck was displaced. Frankie Ryan, he had a goal in last night's game, and the defense coming up strong as the 91 of Jake Oley managed to get in there to disrupt it. Carroll sends one down, deflected away. Back to the near boards. Cutting around, and now it'll be sent back up to center. Chasing it down is Nate Murray. Line change coming for either side. It was touched by the Knights, and so it will stay in fair play. And the defense getting right in front, kicking the puck around a whole bunch was Bryce Baxter, and the Knights get the puck at center. A little bit of tangled up in front of the bench. That was Lefebvre, I believe, on the 55 of Cade Simeon. Back at center. And dumped in. And wise decision there from Crowley to stop the puck. 10:50 to go in the first period. Not many shots taken on net by either side. And we'll see how they match up. Excuse me. Off the face-off. The Mounties trying to take it away as it was a draw. Souza couldn't seem to dump it in, and it's taken away from Azarone. Azarone caught up a little bit. He needs some help from Donahue. Donahue up at the top shelf that time to Margot. One coming down, and it deflects away as the defender got in the way of Danuzzo. His chance on net whiffed away. Lawrence clears it up to center over towards Lombari, and will come back to center ice. Smolin to chase this down in his own end. Smolin has Troiano on his back. And Lombari across ice, trying to get it to Lawrence. It was tipped at the first contact, and Lawrence will backhand it into the zone for the dump in. Back at center, chasing it down is Murray. Murray having Mascari on his back. This one bouncing off of the referee, and Murray taking it up to center. Dump in. Couple of skaters to meet in. It's swiftly taken away by Ryan. And not before the Knights poke it back up to center. Very balanced attack from either side so far. We haven't seen a ton of shots on net, as mentioned before. So a very defensive effort by both teams. As it's up to center, it will go right to Hannah, and we'll get a stoppage of play. .9:16 to go as the Knights take the face-off. This one comes down off of Hurd. Right in front, Hannah. Very dangerous spot for him as he nearly let one in. Up against the far corner. It's dumped back down into the corner. Smolin that time with the feed to Lawrence. Lawrence up to center, trying to get it to the right winger of Lombari. Lombari couldn't get his stick wrapped around the puck as the 5 of Hurd was there to make the first contact. Lombari coming up with it. Knights take it away. Del Moncio. And it's dumped in by Souza. A lot of dump-ins, just not a lot of scoring opportunities that we're seeing. Lawrence, once again, flips it behind the back. Trying to get a chance in front. Shot! Score! Right to Lawrence in the slot. And the Mounties strike first at home against the Notre Dame Knights and take a 1-0 lead. Colden Lawrence making the goal, lighting the lamp, and the Mounties are up in front first with 8:24 to go in the first period. And of course, if you're a Rhode Island fan, this is definitely something you like to see. As this one scooped up that time from Azarone. Taken away from Baxter. Chasing it back down. Lefebvre trying to get on top of the 24 of Robert McCarthy. McCarthy getting some assistance. Baxter trying to play. A little disruption. Another chance right in front, and Lefebvre. That one just goes right over the top of Crowley, and another one coming at Crowley, and they have to make a great stop. And on the assist for that play, the 9 of Kyle Smolin and the 14 of Maxwell Rusov to help out Lawrence put the first score up on the board. And so now we'll face off on the Knights side of things. Off the draw. And it's taken away that time by Mascari. Into the zone, they chase it down. And that near corner. And a chance to set it up, but that time the 13 of Daniel Cusack was a little caught up right in front of the net. Too much tangling. And now the 2 of Ty Badipalgi. Badipalgia and Murray. Or excuse me, Hannah will glove that one down for the save. And we'll face off once again down on the Mounties side of things. One coming right down at Hannah. And a big save there. That one coming from the 91 of Jake Aloy. The hard slap shot right off the face-off, and they'll try again. And this one comes all the way back from center. Ollie. That time over to the 5 of Hurd. Back to Ollie. And passing it off that time. They'll get it back to Hurd. Hurd cuts back into the middle, trying to feed it over into the right wing, and that time Azarone couldn't make any extension. Donahue up to Aloy, and it comes down, deflected off the defense behind the cage, comes back to the near side. Being poked away. Souza, a dangerous game there as he brought it right in front of the cage of Hannah. And the defense can't seem to clear it. Aloy with a rocket of a slap shot. And Hannah makes a great stop again. Another one crossing Aloy. He'll elect to dump it. Smolin. It'll go right back to Aloy. Aloy sends it down into the corner. Now Kyle Smolin having a little bit of miscommunication. Didn't really seem to see where the puck was going. And Souza. Mounties struggling to clear it in this last sequence. And they finally do so. But we're going to get a penalty called, a cross check. And that's going to go against the 3 of Connor Souza. So just when the Mounties had an advantage of the game, they put themselves in a slight disadvantage. As Connor Souza gets a minor for a cross check. The Knights will go on the power play, looking to tie this one up. off the win. And it was attempted to be dumped in by Troiano. And Troiano regains himself and flips it over to Cusack. In the zone, Mascari up against the near boards. Mascari finding it, gets it over to the 2. About to call of Ty, and that one bouncing off of Hannah. Cutting back right in front, shot, score! And just like that, the Knights not only 30 seconds into this power play, the 14 that time, or 13, excuse me, that's the 13 of Daniel Cusack. He puts the Knights on the board to knot things up at 1 apiece off a power play goal. So Michael Troiano and Ty Badipagli all on the assists this one. So the Mounties are back to their full strength, but they've given up a power play goal all in 30 seconds. They're going to have to do a lot, as the Knights have definitely found some momentum off that goal. Badipagli. This one bouncing off of Hannah, off to the left side. Behind the net, Carroll trying to get it over to Slack. And we get a whistle, offsides. We're going to get an elbow call, actually. And that's going to go against the 11 of James Mascari. So now the Knights in the penalty box. So 2 minutes on the board in favor of the Mounties, who just gave up a power play goal moments ago. Now with an opportunity to take the lead once again. They had 2 power play goals in last night's game, none tonight so far. This is their first power play of the game. Lawrence opts to give it to Smolin. Smolin to Lawrence, a hard slap shot, and it'll come all the way back as it bounced off a defender, and the Knights managed to clear this one off the PK. And nearly costly situation has her own. And Hannah makes the wise choice of scooping that one up in the glove. So 1 minute and 37 to go on the penalty. And the Mounties playing on their heels as of right now. Looking to actually create some offensive generation. Smolin, it's nearly taken away that time. Lawrence, he's going to have to redirect as he gets it back to Smolin. Smolin playing keep away a whole bunch. And he gives it off to Lawrence. Lawrence through center. The dump in. Trying to extend around the defender. And a good chance. Setting up Lombari. Lombari to Smolin at the point. Smolin to Lombari. Back to Smolin. Smolin down to Lawrence. All the way across to Lombari, who rifles one. And Crowley with a great save there. Stops at 3:50 and 59 seconds to go on the penalty. Mount's taken a couple chances so far on the power play. They just haven't been able to find the back of that net. In the corner. It comes around the backside over to the 45 of Tegan Grillo. And back to center. Carroll. Off of Dumas. And this one goes out of play, nearly coming right at us. 44 seconds left on the penalty. And we'll face off again in neutral ice. Off the win, the Knights clear it. Carroll gets it off to Slack, back to Carroll. Carroll leading Lefebvre a little too much. And the Knights send one down over towards Hannah. In that near corner. Dumped away and taken away this time by the Knights, trying to create some offense. And it's given up right in front. Shot a little wide to the left by Cusack, who had the goal earlier. And Dumas behind the back to Carroll. Carroll, a little deke. Trying to deke again. It's poked away. Knights back to full strength. The Mounties couldn't generate anything on that play. Trying to set him up right in front. One-on-one. Whiffs on the chance. That was Troiano. And now the puck will come back to center as the Knights find themselves back at full strength. And we get ourselves a whistle. Delayed penalty. And they're going to get a delayed offsides call. 2:29 to go in the first, and we're all knotted up at 1 apiece. And we'll come and face off right back at center. And off the face-off, Souza. He'll dump it up to neutral territory. Smolin giving it off to Lawrence. Lawrence with a great steal, trying to drag around, and that one counts as a shot as it hits off of Crowley. Trying to get another chance for Lawrence. He tried to backdoor it off a backhander, and it'll come to the top of the zone. This one coming down. It goes behind Crowley. That was Luke Smolin to try and make the play, and now Aloy. He'll wrap it around Hanna in his cage, and now Luke Smolin to take it up. Lombari checked right in front of neutral ice, and Kyle Smolin giving it off to Lawrence with the dump in. Lawrence trying to get in front of Hurd. Lawrence, very tall, big body skater. He has it taken away from him. And some separation from Ascari, and a great poke check from the Mounties D. This puck will travel back to center. And we actually get a whistle here, and we'll get an offsides call again. And it's dumped in by the Knights. Our clock a little off. There's just about a minute and a half to go. Under a minute and a half in this first. And we're all tied up at 1 apiece. Knights trying to get a clear dump in. They've caught the Mounties off guard a couple of times already. And now giving it up to LaFave before it's taken away from him. That time the 17 of Nate Murray was struggling. And this puck sent back into the Mountie zone. Tyler Carroll across, back to Nate Murray. And fed up through center. McCarthy, under a minute to go in the first period. Carroll all the way up to Slack. Slack rifles it at Crowley. And another save, stopping us with 42 seconds to go in this first period. So don't go anywhere, folks. We won't have the ice resurfaced right away here after the first period. We'll be back right after these two teams talk things over about what to do here in the second period. Second intermission, we will have a much longer break. Yeah, but we'll be back, of course, for the conclusion. Under 40 seconds to go. The Knights take the face-off. This one dumped in. And an arm up on the play. And we're going to get what looks to be an icing call. Or an offsides, actually. So it's another delayed offsides call. Very generous calls on the floor tonight so far from our officials. So this one deflects off the boards. And, ooh, a nice wrister coming from Cusack. Trying to find his second of the game. This one coming right at Hanna from Donuzzo, excuse me. Donuzzo. Couldn't seem to find the extension. That one goes off to the right. Dumas playing some keep away. And we get another delayed offsides with 2 seconds to go in the first period. And so we'll face off one more time before the conclusion of the first period. And so that will do it for period number one. Your score after one, 1-1. The Mount St. Charles Mounties and the Notre Dame Knights all tied up at 1 apiece. We'll be right back after a brief intermission for the start of the second period, right here on Fans Only Sports Network. In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
In, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
In, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
In, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score! And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the start of the second period. We're all tied up at 1 apiece here from Adelard Arena. And we'll see what more punches these two teams bring against one another. Traveling all the way back towards Crowley, and he's just going to glove that one quickly down to avoid any danger. And we'll face off down at Notre Dame's side of the ice. Into the corner. Taken away by Aloy. Mounties trying to do their best to keep it in the zone. And it's poked back to center by Hurd. Fort's dumped in by Lawrence. Aloy has Smolin right on his back. Smolin feeding it to Lawrence, and he couldn't get a good extension off the one-timer right in the slot. In fact, almost ricocheted off the stick. And so we'll come back to center. Dumped in right away. Hannah, he's going to let this one go as the 13 of Cusack sent that one in. And we'll get an icing call. 4:10 to go. 14:10. Let's get a word from tonight's game sponsors. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Joseph Lammy, 696 Reservoir Ave in Cranston, Rhode Island. For consultation and information, visit josephlammy.com. Joseph Lammy, attorney at law. And then by RR Elite Recruits, with access to 3,000 schools and 80,000 coaches across 38 NCAA sports. For high school athletes looking to play at the next level, be seen by going to RR Elite Recruits. Visit www.rreliterecruits.com to sign up for more information. In that near corner, it's taken away right in front. A good chance as that time Hannah made a good job of deflecting it away. The 12 of Michael Troiano tried to test him, and Hannah made an impressive save. And it'll come all the way back through center, traveling in the opposite direction. It was touched by the Knights, so icing is now a possibility. Harrison Dumas whiffed on the takeaway as the puck was in his clutches. Through center, Azarone cutting it back around, trying to give it off to the 4 of Denuzzo. And now taking it up, here's the 21 of Frankie Ryan. Ryan looked like he had one man to beat. Dumas was set up in the slot, and Crowley makes the save, and now pushing and shoving going on at the end of the play. Ryan definitely didn't mean to fly into Crowley in the net, so trying to calm down these Knights players. So we're actually going to get a penalty against Notre Dame.
I think it's coincidentals.
So coincidentals going against Ryan and the 10 of Tim Donahue. Slashing against Frankie Ryan, and then roughing going to go against Donahue. So both teams will just serve 2 minutes in the box for their respective penalties, and it won't count against the men on the floor. A hard hit right in front of the home bench. No arm up. Of course, Mount St. Charles coach looking for that penalty. He's not going to get it. At the top of the zone, Baxter. And one coming down from Souza. This one right in front of Crowley, and he somehow managed to glove that one up. As the Mounties continue to add on to their shots on net here in the second period. We're all knotted up at 12 shots on goal. And we'll face off one more time. At the top, it's dumped in off the 17 of Murray. Cutting it back over towards Lombari. Smolin. Lombari, and it's poked away back to the near side corner. Lawrence trying to skate around Aloy. Chance right in front for Lombari. And the Knights defense comes up big as Battaglia takes it into the zone. And a good chance, this one way over the top as Mascari took a chance. And it's stopped down at the blue line by Hurd. Hurd having a lot of trouble as he was swallowed up by a lot of Mounties, and Smolin will dump it in for Mount St. Charles, and we'll get an icing call regardless of the efforts. Off the face-off. In the corner. Being taken away that time from by Simeone. And up against the board, Savoy. Smolin with the takeaway. And it's poked all the way back up to center ice. Coming over towards the penalty boxes. And it's dumped in. Smolin. Another one deflecting off the glass back to center. McCarthy tries to clear it up to center ice. The Mounties manage to dump it in. McCarthy with it here. And back at center. Taken away by the 6 of Declan Morin. And it's dumped back down. Slack. He's checked, and he makes a hard check off McCarthy. Dumas. Trying to getting across. Ooh, a tough shot. Taken by the 6 that time of Declan Morin. Or Declan Moran, excuse me. And we get a delayed penalty. No, we're not actually. The arm went down. McCarthy crossing it across to center, and we get a whistle for icing. 11:06 to go. Step aside for a brief moment from a word from our sponsors at Precision Home Lending.
Want to close your home purchase or refinance faster? Contact me, David Delbonis, at 401-487-7379, President Precision Home Lending. Trust the experts and we'll make your loan experience amazing.
Shot coming down, bounced off of Crowley as Carroll sent one right down. And now back to center. Donahue trying to get around the man, and a chance right in front. The defense is there to deflect the puck away. In front of the far side boards. Heads behind the cage of Hannah. Chance right in front. And that time not enough extension for Donahue. Behind the back, a good one-on-one opportunity with Hannah. And Hannah catches that one up in his pads. That time it was the 15 of Michael Azzarone. Up next on Fans Only Sports Network, ladies and gentlemen, Cumberland going to face Barrington tonight at 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, right here on Fans Only Sports Network. You can check out Matt Jolis as he calls the plays in that one. It should be an excellent game so far in terms of league play. The Cumberland Clippers are the only undefeated team in Division I hockey. LaSalle losing to Prout in a very, very tight and contested game, 3-2. Cumberland now ranked in first place in Division I. Well, that's something we didn't really expect this season. In front of the penalty boxes, it's being poked away a whole bunch, and this one goes right into the visiting bench, nearly hitting what looks to be one of our, a little bit of headhunting going on in there. And so 10-13 left to go in the second. A lot of stoppage, not a lot of played out sequences so far. Smolin trying to take the puck away, and it's given off to Lawrence. Lawrence facing a lot of pressure from Ascari, and it's dumped back in. This game still so tightly contested. Both sides just really having at it with one another, physically and mentally. In the far corner, it's poked over to Battaglia, and Lombari gets it all the way up towards Lawrence. Lawrence having it poked away from Aloy, and it's dumped back in. The Mounties get a line change. Up to center, Battaglia. Ty Battaglia. This one bouncing off of what looked to be the post potentially, because that was another hard shot on net. Trying to set up to Moss and lag behind the back, and that one saved immediately by Crowley as Harrison DeMoss took a chance. Donuzzo gets it up towards center. Carroll with the takeaway, and he dumps it back down. Crowley opts to give it off to Donuzzo. Dumas giving it off to Slack, and we get a whistle. Offsides, the call. .8:53 remaining in this first period, and we're still all knotted up at one apiece. And puck. Chance right in front, shot, score! And just like that, the Knights take the lead for the first time tonight. Give credit to the goal that time to the 10 of Tim Donahue as he lights the lamp. And the Notre Dame Knights take the lead 2-1. Just a great movement into the zone. Just setting him up one-on-one with the goaltender. Number 4, Brody Donuzzo. And the 15 of Michael Azzarone. And we'll get a puck out of play as it goes into the netting. So under 8.5 to go in the second. And the Knights have taken the lead. Mounties defensively have just seen a lot of collapse in these recent moments. And just not enough good setups once they enter the attacking zone. Once we hit the second period intermission, there's definitely going to be a lot of chatter in those locker rooms of what this team needs to improve on if they want to come out. But we'll see what happens here in the second period. Bounced off the glass and it's sent all the way down. Icing going to be the official call on the floor. with 8:06 to go. Off the face-off, it'll trickle back to center. Aloy bouncing it off of Battaglia and brought in by Cusick. And sent back the other way behind Carroll. One-on-one chance. Hannah makes the save and off the rebound, the shot and a score. Notre Dame adds on another one in under a minute. Give credit to the goal that time to the 11 of James Mascari. Mascari found himself one-on-one. He took the chance immediately. The puck coincidentally went right back to him. And the Knights now take a 3-1 lead. And the man on the assist was the 2 of Ty Battaglia. And just like that, Notre Dame finds themselves in the driver's seat. Dumas up through center. Dumas trying to feed it around the back, taken away by Slack. Slack trying to set up someone up in front, but too much congestion by the defense of Notre Dame. And Mount St. Charles going to have to get back to basics. Dumas, another dump in. And it's cleared back up through center. And we get a whistle to stop the play. 7:16 to go. And so we'll face off down on the Mount St. Charles, or excuse me, the Notre Dame side of the ice. Taken away by Donuzzo. Trying to give it in front that time to Dowd. And behind the back, Lefebvre takes it away for the Mounties. And great poke check that time off the 9 of Matt Stevens. And at center, Delmonaco. It's taken away by Souza. Souza that time over to Baxter. This one coming back down as the Knights dump it into the zone. Battaglia. And now taken away by Lefebvre. All the way across into center. It's poked back in. Souza. Cross center ice. Under 6.5 to go. And it's cleared one more time. And taken away by Smolin. And a good opportunity set up here for Mascari. He has a goal already. Off the boards to Battaglia. And taken away by Battaglia. This one hitting the back of the net. Off the boards hitting the back of the net. But it stays in play. Good chance. Another one. Hannah. Nice clean snag as Tegan Grillo sent a nice wrister right at him. 6:02 left in this second period. Off, and Hannah to glove that one down to stop the play from occurring. Off the face-off. In the near corner. A chance right in front that time, but the 90 of Gabe Locklear couldn't make anything of it as Hannah makes another tough save. And so we'll face off one more time. Carroll will send it over to Lombari. Lombari trying to poke it up to Souza, and the Knights take it away at center. Dowd checked into the boards in front of his own bench. Another hard hit right in front of the boards. behind the cage. It's cleared away, but not of the zone, and eventually does. Kyle Smolin trying to create a one-on-one chance. Lombari was set up perfectly for the one-timer. Smolin just put it behind his back, and he knows it. And you could see him really letting the emotions get the best of him as he got right back to the bench and just was really just not too happy with himself. And it's tough. It's really tough to see that type of play occur when you know you had a golden opportunity to score. 5:08 to go in the second, and it's 3-1 Knights. This one sent to Smolin. Up at center, Dumas. Dumas lets this one escape his clutches a little bit, and he'll dump it away, and we get a whistle to stop play. 52 to go. You can see a lot of frustration from these Mounties as they know they have a chance to stay in it. The Knights are really just taking full advantage of this frustration. Excuse me. Chance that was nearly set up for Dumas, and it'll come back to center. Battaglia trying to skate around three. Slack to take it away. Brandon Slack. It's stopped at the blue line and sent back down off the 5 of Hurd. Smolin. And taken away. This one bouncing off of Hannah as Cusack tried to get a shot on goal. Dumas with the takeaway, trying to give it off that time to Frankie Ryan. And Battaglia comes up with it again for the Knights. Ty Battaglia, and a great save as Daniel Cusack looked to get his second goal of the night. Another one coming down at Hannah. This one continues to ricochet, as that time Mascari was also trying to look for his second. But another tough save made by Dylan Hannah, who's played very well so far tonight. And will likely finish this game in goal, unless another goal or two is given up. But as of right now, he's the man in the box. 4:06 left to go in this second period. And the Knights still lead at 3-1. A chance right up in front, and another one deflected. As that time, the 12 of Troiano couldn't get enough extension. Mounties have really fallen silent offensively. Carroll trying to spark something. That time behind the back by the 14 of Rusov. Lefebvre trying to get around the 4 of Hurd, and Hurd dumps it off. McCarthy will take it up through center. McCarthy across the blue line. The shot bounces off of Hannah's pads, and it'll come back to the 4 of Nick Buchanan. This one's sent all the way down. McCarthy's going to take it. McCarthy up to Troiano. Donahue, excuse me, at center, sends one down at Hannah, who brushes that one off. And taken away, a chance right in front as they're trying to just poke it in. Hannah blocking a couple of shots there, as the Knights just keep up this offensive pressure. And eventually taken away by Baxter through center. He'll dump it in. Mounties get a line change. It's crossed all the way down. No icing, as Smolin did touch the puck. And Lawrence behind the back, but it's kept in play by Azarone. Smolin trying to clear the puck. Lawrence with the takeaway and the give up to Lombari. Lombari skating hard to get around the 25 of Pat Conroy. And it stays in the corner. Lawrence will get it up to Smolin at the blue line. Smolin, it deflects off the face mask of Tegan Grillo. And now Smolin to dump it back the opposite way. This one dangles in the air before it's brought back down by Grillo. And it will be taken up here by Dowd. And takeaway, Antonio Lombari. Lombari cutting around. It bounces off of Crowley. First time we've seen a shot on net in a while for Mount, as we're under 2 minutes to go in the second. In that near corner. It's wrapped around to the far side. Stevens, the first to make contact, dumps it back off to Conroy, who gives it here to Locklear. Locklear. Souza in the right position defensively to make the stop. All the way up to Ryan. Ryan, this one hits off the protective glass. On the near side boards, Aloy gets off to Dumas as he intercepts. Harrison Dumas. He'll send it around the backside. Ryan knocked to the floor that time. And playing some keepaways. Mascari doing a little 360 action until Luke Smolin comes up with it. Back to center, a minute to go in the second period. Frankie Ryan giving it off to Dumas. Dumas, 2-on-1 as he's slammed into the boards. And this puck's going to come all the way back to Hanna. And Hanna going to do the wise move. He was going to let it trickle out to the left side, but instead decided to put the glove down on it and make the stop. And we'll face off in the Mounties side for potentially the last time until we head to the third period. In the far boards, taken off that time by Donahue. A chance, and Hanna, another tough save. And Carroll will take it up through center. Carroll getting tied up a little bit. Lombari trying to get around, and Dinuzzo, excuse me, gets dumped back in off of Buchanan. Trapped down by Smolin and taken away by McCarthy off the interception. At center, brought back down to earth and taken across the line by Donahue. Tim Donahue at the point to McCarthy. This one going off the protective glass, and that will do it for the second period. After two, your score 3-1. The Notre Dame Green Knights add on 2 goals in this period. The Mounties held scoreless after only scoring 1 to start off this matchup. We're going to let these two teams talk things over and let that Zamboni work its magic on the floor. Until then, we'll take a quick break here in the second period intermission for the conclusion of this one right here on Fans Only Sports Network. The Mount St. Charles Mounties trail the Notre Dame Green Knights by a score of 3-1. We'll be right back for the start of the third period. And oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
And oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
And oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone. That is a touchdown.
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound!
We welcome you back to Adelard Arena here in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, as the Mount St. Charles Mounties host the Notre Dame Knights. Score of the matchup 3-1. The Knights lead it as we hit the final period. in this one. And off the win. They'll take it. And dumped away. Going back into the opposite angle. We've switched sides on the ice, and the floor has been resurfaced. But which team will pull away completely? This one coming right at Hannah for a nice glove save on the Knights' 30th shot on goal. They lead by 15 shots in this one. And so we'll face off back on the Mounties side of the floor. Up in the far boards. Trying to cut it inside to get a shot off, but it couldn't be extended for Mascari. And it's poked back up to the blue line to McCarthy. He dumps it back down. Hannah sticking the puck away as it nearly resulted as a chance on net. McCarthy. And this one nearly goes out of play. Carroll, he'll give it up to Ryan. Frankie Ryan, this one nearly goes into the ceiling completely. Almost to never be seen again, but regardless, the puck will go out of play and we'll get a stoppage of time. 14:05 to go. And we'll come back to center ice and face off. Waiting for the face-off. And off the draw. Lefebvre. He dumps it around the back that time of Donuzzo. Near side. Traveling back the other way. Now it's taken away at center. And we'll go back in the opposite direction. We'll get a whistle and stop play. 13:48 to go in the second period. Let's get another word from today's game sponsors. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Joseph Lammy, 696 Reservoir Ave in Cranston, Rhode Island. For consultation and information, visit josephlammy.com. Joseph Lammy, attorney at law. And then by our elite recruits with access to 3,000 schools and 80,000 coaches across 38 NCAA sports. For high school athletes looking to play at the next level, be seen by going to RR Elite Recruits. Visit www.rreliterecruits.com to sign up for more information. Carroll, it's sent across in neutral ice and sent behind the line that time to the 25 of Conroy. Buchanan to take this one away as he redirects, and it's stopped down at the blue line by Notre Dame. Up in front of the home bench, and the Knights will get it up to center. Scooting through with a deke, and they'll bring it into the zone. Getting a little tied up, and wrapped around the backside of the boards. Baxter has it here. And it'll come back to the near side. Still on the near. And it's shot coming right down at Hannah. Another one coming, and it's deflected away by the defense. And a chance on Hannah. Another one nearly scooted right underneath the pads. And the Mounties will get a line change. Conroy gets it up to Ty Battaglia, Battaglia backhands it at Hannah, and Hannah can't glove it away cleanly, so it stays in play. Hurd gets it up to Battaglia, and now it's center. Smolin trying to skate around, but a Knights defender right there to wait for it. Aloy giving it to Hurd. Logan Hurd takes it up across the neutral ice, and he'll cross that blue line. Hurd getting held up. Backhanded try, and it's a score. It traveled right under the back of Dylan Hannah. They've called it a goal, but we're looking to see what the officials say. This might be a premature call. And the goal's not going to stand. It looked like it might have slipped under the back of Hannah, but they're just going to face off back at neutral ice instead. So right when we thought there would be a goal, that nearly escaped through the threshold of the net, it's just not going to count. And now we'll face off at neutral ice. Off the face-off. Hurd. In front of the visiting benches in the penalty boxes. It's dumped in by Lombari. Aloy wraps it around back to the near. Coming back to the point. Carroll, this one deflecting into the glass as he took a chance on net. Smolin, another one coming down. And another one as Crowley makes another save. And now here come the Knights. Triano at center. Buchanan trying to take it away for the Mounties. And Triano will take it away again for the dump in. Carroll having a lot of trouble here as the Knights take away the possession of the puck. Triano, it's intercepted by Buchanan, and Carroll to take it away. At center. It's dumped back in the opposite direction to Carroll. Carroll giving it up to Kyle Smolin, who's going into the zone all alone. And the Knights struggling to take the puck away somehow. Brandon Slack coming up with it. This shot over the top of the net. And it'll wrap around back to the near. Into the cage of Hannah. Flipping it behind the back with Smolin. A wise decision there. It's poked in the opposite way. Locklear will tie it up with Smolin. And it'll be poked back to center ice. McCarthy comes back to near, and it's dumped away. Smolin sends it in the opposite direction, and no icing to be called. It was touched by a Knight. And Smolin taken away by McCarthy this time. And Baxter and crew. McCarthy will clear it back to center. Hannah to give it off that time to Smolin. Souza, bounced off the stick that time, and now Harrison Dumas trying to get some help. That time Frankie Ryan coming in to assist. And Dumas being a little swifty here, but it's given up back to center in front of the penalty boxes. Back to the far side they go. McCarthy gives it back to near to Donuzzo. And here Mascari can't get the takeaway. McCarthy with the feed to Battaglia. Ty Battaglia trying to get around Buchanan. Lefebvre unable to come up with it. This one scampering right in front of the net as Daniel Cusack took a chance. It'll dribble away. And a chance right in front. This one bouncing off of Hannah. 35th shot of the night for the Knights. They'll send another one. It bounces off of Buchanan, and it'll go back to the far side boards. And over the top of the jersey, Battaglia. And now Lefebvre. A lot of poke checks by either side as they each continuously take this puck away. It's probably been the longest sequence of the entire game so far. Donahue heading into the zone with Buchanan giving pressure. The puck becomes displaced, but it's taken away by Azzarone. Azzarone with the giveaway. That time the shot coming down from Tegan Grillo. And it's dumped back in. Wrapped around the cage to the near side. At the top shelf, another one coming down. This one wide to the right from Grillo. Grillo's been off the line twice now. But the Knights take it away back at center. Azzarone to Grillo. Grillo trying to find the opening, and Hannah left a portion of the net exposed on that right side. And the Knights weren't able to execute much. This one cleared, and we're going to get an icing call. Let's get one final word from tonight's game sponsors. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Joseph Lammy, 696 Reservoir Ave in Cranston, Rhode Island. For consultation and information, visit josephlammy.com. Joseph Lammy, attorney at law. And then by RR Elite Recruits with access to 3,000 schools and 80,000 coaches across 38 NCAA sports. For high school athletes looking to play at the next level, be seen by visiting RR Elite Recruits. Go to www.rreliterecruits.com to sign for more information. At the blue line, it's dumped back down. Battaglia giving it off, and it's taken away by Staples. Moss leveled right in front of the bench by the 5 of Logan Hurd. And Battaglia, the first to meet it as it crosses the blue line. Frankie Ryan feeds it up to center, and we get a whistle. As Battaglia, big body defenseman for the Knights, slammed what appears to be the 23 of Luke Smolin. And he's a little shaken up, but fortunately able to get to his feet. And he appears to be all right, just very shaken up. That was a hard hit he took. 7:22 to go in regulation, and your score still 3-1 as the Notre Dame Green Knights lead the Mount St. Charles Mounties. So we'll face off back on neutral ice. And still waiting for something to really get us started here on the face-off. It bounces off the glass back to center. Over that time to the 24 of McCarthy, and it'll come back to center. And it's dumped in. Carroll has Stevens on his back. And trying to take it away up to center. It was nearly intercepted. And we're going to get another icing call with 6:56 to go. Of course, San Francisco 49ers look like they're heading on to the divisional round in a wild card weekend. They lead the game 41-17 as the game was 17-16 at half. And if you want to check out Chris Etu, that is me's playoff predictions. Oh my goodness, shot, score! Forget about that talk. We got a goal. Knights add on another one. Give credit to the goal to the 10 that time of Tim Donahue. Donahue adds the 4th goal for the Notre Dame Knights. 12. And number 12, that's Michael Troiano on the assist. As the Knights continue this lopsided affair. Frankie Ryan trying to get something set up in the middle. He's going to get some help from Slack. Slack giving it to Ryan. Ryan has this one bounce off of Crowley. And another one coming down. This one wide to the left that time off of Carroll. At this point, it appears the Mounties are just resting a lot of their starters, potentially, and electing all of these young bucks to really get some playing time in this non-league game. In the far corner. And it's flipped up to center ice. Hurd. Off to Grillo. Back to Hurd. And dumped into the zone off the 8 of Cooper Savoy. Buchanan. He'll pass that one over. And it's a little bit too much of a lead for Lefebvre as Slack was the one with the pass. And now Mascari. James Mascari. He already has a goal here. He dumps along the boards around. That time to Battaglia. Up to the top. This one over to Aloy. Aloy sends one down a little wide to the left. And Hanna, he'll make the save to prevent any damage. .5:18 to go. As we are just about all wrapped up here from Adelard. Souza feeds it behind the back of the cage to Buchanan. Buchanan up center ice to Lombari. Antonio Lombari. It's poked away. Ty Battaglia has really been a very premier defenseman for this Knights unit. He's just played great all around. You can tell he's almost the Zdeno Chara of this unit. Just a big body defender. Lombari trying to get a chance, and it goes right into the stomach of Crowley on Mount's 20th shot of the game. The Mounties have taken chances, but they haven't just had enough in terms of opportunities to be set up on these shots on net. Notre Dame has really just been able to clog up those holes as soon as the puck has entered. It was seemingly crossed that blue line. It was just an excellent performance by them in this one. Lombari sends another one. This one goes over the top as it was in contention to potentially have a chance. On the near side, Souza, and we get a whistle. And it looks like a penalty. This one going to go against the 10. Illegal head contact by the 10 of Antonio Lombari. And so to trim off more of this game, Lombari will hit the box for 2 minutes, and the Knights will go on the power play with the lead. We'll chew off half of the game as the Mounties are already down a man. That one was definitely not intended to go that way. As Hurd's trying to chase it down, Slack tried to sell out for it. He couldn't come up with the puck. The give off to Battaglia. Ty Battaglia. And he's checked by Carroll. That time sent behind the back of Cusack. At the blue line. It's shuffled down. Another one. This one near a near chance right in front of the net. As Carroll, it's cleared back up to center. Heading all the way down. Crowley nearly had Lefebvre on the doorstep. Great defense by Logan Hurd. And now it's stuck in the near corner. Battaglia up towards center. Carroll, it's poked away by Cusack. Cusack shot wide to the right. And now Mascari. Mascari shuffling a puck down. And being poked away by Souza. Up towards center, another one coming down. Really sprawling out there was Carroll, and it's going to go in the opposite way. Back to center. Just about 3 minutes to go, 30 seconds left on the power play. The Mounties have been doing a good job of killing it off. And we get a whistle to stop play, actually, with 25 solid seconds to go on the penalty. And 2:57 left in regulation. And bench minor penalty going to go against Notre Dame. And so that's going to send the 12 of Michael Troiano to the bench. For too many men on the ice. So we go to 4-on-4 hockey. As it's sent back to center to Carroll, who gets it to Buchanan. 15 seconds until the Mounties go on a power play for the remainder of this one. As they trail, they're going to need a lot of help going into the end of this one. Donahue, one-on-one with Hanna. We're going to have to stop play as he slid right into Dylan Hanna. Couldn't even get the extension on the shot as the net came off the moorings with the contact. And stating my point earlier, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to check out playoff predictions right on Fans Only Sports Network, hear what we have to think about those games, go check out fansonlysports.com. Check out the articles and podcasts there. They'll have live coverage. Right in front of the penalty boxes. And with that, the Mounties are back to full strength. They'll go on the power play for 1:30. Behind the cage. Over to Souza. That time giving it to Lombari. Lombari losing his footing. And playing some keep away there is Azarone. And it's very strange. We see the Mounties are on the power play, but it's almost as if these Knights are on the power play right now, the way they've been playing with the puck. Trying to get a chance. Azarone trying to wrap it around the back door. And it just wasn't able to find any threshold. Smolin can't get the move he wanted. Lawrence, first time on the ice all period almost. We haven't seen him in a while. And Souza giving it off to Slack. Slack up to Lombari. And now the 25 of Conroy for the Knights. And it's out of play. We finally get that late whistle with 32 seconds left to go in regulation. Oh, in power play. In regulation, you got 1:29. Off the face-off. Ryan to shepherd this puck. And giving off that time to Dumas. Behind the back to Tyler Carroll. Carroll. Only 15 seconds left on the penalty as Dumas dumps it in. And cleared effectively by Battaglia. Bounced off of Hanna. Hanna gets all the way out of the box. Dangerous position. And a minute to go in the period, and the Knights are now back to full strength. It was a tough one for the Mounties. They got ahead early, but once things got dicey, the Knights managed to just take full advantage of the swing of things and dominate this one. Just excellent defense all around, only allowing 21 shots on net as opposed to their 38. Just a good balance between both. Mostly on the offense and defense. I mean, Crowley, he played an amazing game. You have to commend Connor Crowley in this one, but you have to give ultimate credit to that Knights defense because they were just in the perfect position to prevent goals and chances from occurring. Give credit to the skaters on this one, folks. Souza. Bouncing it off the near side, and we get another whistle to stop play. So the Mounties, of course, they've reached a winning record in league play. They get 1/500 to be 4-3 on the season after last night's win. This is a tough one for them to swallow, but of course, this is what non-league games are for, to really test your skill. And we'll see how their skill will be tested going down the road here in the state of Rhode Island. This team, one of the top 4 teams in Connecticut, of course, playing great hockey all day long. And that will do it, ladies and gentlemen. Final score of the affair, 4-1. The Mount St. Charles Mounties are defeated after scoring the first goal in the first period. They managed to allow 4 unanswered as the Notre Dame Green Knights take this one. Final score of the game, once again, 4-1. Thank you all for tuning in to Fans Only Sports Network's live coverage once again of Division I hockey here in the state of Rhode Island. If you want to check out more live stream games, go to fansonlysports.com. You can purchase your live stream season passes there, and you won't miss a moment's action with those passes. You can check out any of the games, such as this one right here. We thank you all for tuning in to tonight's game. Be sure to check out Cumberland taking on Barrington tonight at 9 o'clock. Matt Joel is calling the plays there. But until next time, I'm Chris Hetu, and we'll see you all on the next broadcast. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.